Yo, what's up everyone? Happy New Year and welcome back. I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Super over the holidays, so I made this edit of Beerus' world and I thought I'd show you how I did this in Photoshop. Let's go. So here's what the world looks like from the show, so we're gonna try to make it realistic and rebuild this all from scratch. Let's have some fun. I wasn't sure how I wanted to make this platform, so I'll speed this part up a bit. This is me just trying with the pen tool, seeing if I wanted to build each of the shapes, but I was too impatient, so I started just doing the main shape of the platform and then painting it in with some dodge and burn layers. And this actually worked pretty well, just doing some dodge and burn layers to paint in the highlights and shadows, so we'll come back later and fix it up, but let's move on for now. So I found these shrubs online, so I'm going to use a couple of them and combine them together, do a little transform and warp and put them in and see how this all looks. Now that we have the top left corner, we'll just do a horizontal flip and bring it over to the right side, bring them down, flip that so it's not the exact same. Okay, cool, I think these will work great. We'll fix them up a bit later, but this should look really nice. Now for the tree. So I found these images online that actually would work really well. We just cut them out and use that tree, but I want to have it be as exact as possible. So we'll use the pen tool, trace around the tree, and then we'll use those images of the trees for the texture inside. And this took way too long, so I'll speed it up, and while we do, quick story time. So when I was 8, my brother and I were at Shopko watching Dragon Ball Z on one of the TVs, and we were hooked. We asked my mom and dad to sign us up for karate, and the next day we signed up for karate, and then that was my life like the next 4 years, and got my black belts, you know. Dragon Ball Z changes lives. Now let's use our tree textures to fill in the shape we just created. Squeeze that in, stretch it up, make a clipping mask. Ooh, pop quiz. What's the shortcut for a clipping mask? Command Option G. Alright, so we're going to paint this in a bit more, and then duplicate it, fill in all the branches with some more layers, and good enough for now. Once we play with lighting later, it'll help it a lot. So now I'll select all these layers, Command J to duplicate, Command E to combine them all into one layer, and then that way we can fix some of these edges a bit, while only having to deal with one layer, just cleaning these edges up, making them feel a bit more natural with how these tree textures are fitting into the shape. And like a freaking dingus, I forgot to save my project, so I'm going to save this now, trying to be responsible. And not gonna lie, I had my doubts about how this is gonna work out, but I think it's working, so let's keep moving and see how this all ends up. Okay, got our 3 planets right here, so we're gonna place these in. We'll start with the big one, just bring it down. This one actually works pretty nice already, so we'll place that. And then try our next one. These edges are kind of rough, so we're gonna go contract. Bring that in, then we can get rid of that white around the edges. Some of these assets aren't the cleanest, so you gotta give them a little love, make them look nice. This part will be fun. Let's play some textures, and first off we have this metal one. We're gonna add this to the platform. Set it to overlay. Ooh, okay. I think this will work. Blend that in. Nice. Now we have this aging texture. Set it to multiply. Okay, okay. I also grabbed this bread, because you know, why not? Just gotta try everything and see what works here. Wait, okay, that's actually kind of cool. So then I got some of these cracked textures, and then even found some of these geodes, which I thought were pretty cool. Use that to make this world look a little bit more destroyed. You know, it's Beerus, he's the destroyer god. Gotta be a little beat up. So now let's add a little sky behind this, and I'm gonna do a Gaussian blur just to soften it up a little bit. Something around there. So we're gonna select this top layer of the platform, and then we're gonna give it a bit of a blur, that way the edges aren't so sharp. Like a lot of time with composites, you have to be really careful with how sharp each of the objects are, because sharpness can be a big factor of making things not look cohesive throughout the whole edit. And do the same for the other 3 parts of the platform. So for those who follow me on Instagram, I mean, if you don't, you should. But on there I do a ton of portrait edits where I do a lot of weird manipulations with the skin, and pretty much just do dodge and burn for everything to paint in all the effects that I want. So that's probably my favorite part to do in an edit, so I'm excited to do some more dodge and burn on this one. So I always do curves, adjustment layers, bringing up the exposure on the dodge, and then bringing down the exposure on the burn. That way when you decrease the flow on your brush, you can just paint in the highlights and shadows. Alright, okay, before we do that, I don't quite like where the lighting is coming from, so I'm going to play with the sky a little bit and find the right position for it to make sure our light source is where we want it before we get too much into dodge and burn. Yeah, that works well. Okay, so same thing for the tree. We'll just do a lot of painting and with those shadows and highlights, making it look as realistic as possible, matching the light source, and just giving a lot more depth. In seeing the tree again close up, I could have definitely been more patient in putting all the branches and textures together, but let's pray to Beerus that all these dodge and burn layers and playing with the lighting will save our souls here. Alright, and I'm very relieved how this tree turned out. I'm not gonna lie, I had my doubts, but I think it actually works pretty good and looks nice. Now same thing for a little platform to give it a little bit more depth and character and help it feel realistic. I mean, if you're watching this video, I assume you like Dragon Ball. So leave a comment below. Let me know who your favorite character is. I have to say mine is Trunks. Gotta go with my boy Trunks. Always a fan. Now for the planets, we're gonna make sure that the depth is accurate for all of these. So we're gonna bring up the feather. Then we're also gonna add a Gaussian blur to each of them, making sure the depth is accurate for how far away the planets are. Now I'll use one of my cloud brushes to help those planets sit in more naturally. So for this part, I just wanted to experiment a little bit. I added some light rays, some reflections. Also wanted to add just a bit of fog and lightning all around, maybe even some particles. Main thing here, just making it feel a bit more interesting and having a little creative freedom. Wow, okay, I think this is actually working really nicely. So last thing, I want to do camera raw and just fix some of the tones and giving it that final finishing. And there you have it. I also added 2 versions. I added birds to 1 to see if I like the birds, but either way, we got you covered. All right, well, thanks for watching. Got Yachty here to, we just got Yachty. I mean, it's a new year, so obviously you gotta make some new goals, put out some new YouTube videos. Be sure to subscribe for some new content coming out soon, and let's see what happens this new year and have some fun. All right, peace.